Welcome. This is Barry Jones from the Angel School, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for August 5th through the 11th, 2019. So let's take a moment to take a deep breath and to really focus in. And as you can see, I have already turned over the card because it jumped out of the deck, of the Oracle deck that I was shuffling, the Archangel Oracle deck. And so the vision that I had, I think it makes sense. So as we get into this, and we'll just see what's unfolding. But right now, let's use this as an opportunity to focus our attention in this initial meditation, just to align ourselves with our desires and the information that we have. So what I'm getting a sense from them as they show me a phallic symbol, which is my symbol for manifestation. And this card is speaking to paying attention to the cycles of the moon, but it's drawing your attention to cycles within you, intuitive cycles, even physical cycles. So we're paying attention to also emotional cycles, just all kinds of cycles, paying attention to cycles in particularly. And those things that may represent opportunities for manifestation. And when they were talking about information, so pay attention to they just wrote out the word facts, So I get a sense that you may start to maybe, I don't know if this is the right word, hypothesize or make assumptions about how things are, about the outcome, or about how you're doing. And you may actually be a little bit off about that because it's possible that you're being a little too emotional and you're not really taking the information that's around you, the information that's right in front of you, and really trusting that. Because that information that's being presented to you, that's loud and clear and transparent for you to see, these are really concrete signs that the universe gives you. This is the progress report that you can really sort of bet your money on, so to speak. And they're showing me sort of a magician from the Marseille deck, just the hat. I'm not seeing the table and all of that, and so it's giving me a sense of, and I'm not very familiar with the Marseille deck, but in telling it to you, for those it may be something that really resonates with you about that card in the Marseille. But this is an opportunity for you to trust your ideas, trust your gut, I don't know why I'm saying the word intellectual, but to trust your intellect, to really look at the bigger picture, focus on your goals, read the signs, but the concrete ones. I think this is what's so really important. Look at the concrete ones. So, a little bit what I'm getting about the Marseille is that you may not know necessarily what's behind the magician's intention. Like he's got all these tools on the table, and you may not know what he's really intending to do with it. I was also thinking of sometimes I've seen some magician decks where somebody, the magician, is playing with the cards, or doing the little tricks, and creating these illusions, and it feels like you don't want to get caught up in that kind of thing. You don't want to I get a sense like, pay attention to what's on the paper. Pay attention to what you can see. If this is like a job contract or any kind of contract, just don't go by the word of mouth. Don't be, I don't know why I'm feeling this way, but just, don't allow yourself to be deceived. And I feel like that we can do this to ourselves. Don't feel like it's so much coming from the other side, although it may be, but I feel like it's something that we do to ourselves because we don't want to see the truth. We our gut is telling us, but we just, it's wishful thinking. We want, say for instance, some people to be better than what they are, or we want something that we think we need, but it's not really what's going to make us happy, and we're not willing to see it. So they really want you to look at the signs in terms of what are the facts and opportunities that are concrete, that you can look at, that you can touch, that you can experience. Pay attention to the experience as it's unfolding and the facts that are coming through that information. But this is definitely an important time and a very powerful time. This is about really exercising your free will and making choices. Really being assertive about your purpose, your intention, your conviction. This all needs to factor into the equation. So this is the word I just saw, equation. They want you to really factor these things into the equation. Take the pieces that you know, and the pieces that you see, and the pieces that you feel strongly about, and make a choice. Because whether it's yes or no, this is it's like, I don't know why they're saying this, but it's like a hard yes. Whether you say no, it's still a hard yes, because you have decided. I guess all decisions are yes, in a sense, spiritually, because you've decided now what's going to be the next development, or the next part of the situation that unfolds. You're deciding what are going to be your next options that you're going to draw from, because once you know yes or no, now that sets you on a path, on a course of action, rather, even better. And once again, you'll just be ready to choose, to make that choice. So right now, pay attention to how you're energized. Just looking at this card, notice how the moon affects your energy and manifestations, and capitalize upon these cycles. What I want you to do is pay attention to how you're feeling, I want you to pay attention to like how things resonate with you strongly, or you're completely turned off by something. Pay attention to that. Pay attention to, I'm saying the word plans, okay? Pay attention to your plans, and if you are feeling sort of enthusiastic, or all of a sudden feeling a surge of energy and motivation, if you're noticing momentum that's just, collecting. Pay attention to, this is the word they're writing, respect. Pay attention to the respect that you're getting, you're receiving in a situation, in a negotiation. Pay attention to how you're being respected, because that's that's honoring yourself. When others honor you, and that's showing that they're honoring you, and that's also you acknowledging that honor. And maybe there's a situation where you're not getting the respect, but also you know deep down that respect, the signal of respect starts from you. And if you are being respectful, meaning if you're honoring your choices, if you're true to your convictions, then you're going to get back a signal of respect. It's not something you have to work hard for. You just have to be sure. And this energy of powerful manifestation, the clearer your conviction, the more powerful will be the manifestation of your dreams and the manifestation of opportunities that would allow you to create your dreams, or to plan your dreams, or to settle upon an idea, a purpose, or a goal. They're writing the word messages as if to say, the messages will come clear. They will either come clear to you or come clear through you. So this whole thing about us, being indecisive, and God knows I'm the biggest offender here, so I can talk about this actually. And, it's like we spend so much time wanting things to be right that we're too afraid to do what's right. So that can also be sometimes we're afraid to say what we know is right because we're afraid that it may offend someone, or may rub them the wrong way, may set them off, or may cause something that you don't want. But there's a time when we have to trust who we are. We have to, first of all, know who we are. And if you know that you are a person of great compassion, then the last thing you should be worried about is hurting someone's feelings, because you know that it's ingrained within you to think of others and to feel, to be empathetic to their plight, right? So when you feel conviction of words, messages, you need to give those messages as clearly and as accurately as they are being spoken through you. This is the voice of the heart, and the voice of the heart always has the right connection. So if you're questioning your instincts, your intuition constantly, if you're questioning your talents constantly, if you're questioning the things that you're good at, the things that you're passionate about, then you destroy your conviction, your trust, your faith in yourself and in the world and in your desires, the things that you want to manifest. You kill your own momentum. And this can come up really strongly when you're in a time of manifestation, when the sign, now you have concrete signs. You don't have ideas and insights anymore and little sort of predictions. What you have is concrete, tangible resources, guidelines, opportunities that you now, like the magician, you have the tools on the table, and now the universe is like, what are you going to do with them? Well, they have one word for that. Start playing. Don't ask that question, what are you going to do? Start playing. Children don't ask themselves, oh, I wonder what I'm going to do with this toy that somebody just put in front of me. Or what am I going to do with when they go out into the yard, and like we all did, we didn't go out there into the yard and say, what am I going to do with the yard? You just started engaging it. I remember I used to make houses out of the straw from the pine straw that my mom and other neighbors from other areas that didn't have pine straw would come and collect it. And we would have piles, and they would come and rake, as a part of the exchange of energy. And what was left, I would make houses and things. I mean, you go out there and you don't think to yourself, what am I gonna do? There's an instinct, an impulse, a desire that's hot and ready and already engaged. And all you got to do is go for it instead of questioning, doubting, and, curiosity. So if something is laying in front of you that's concrete, let your curiosity lead you. Let your curiosity guide you and draw you into the impact of this interaction. Flow with the energy of your curiosity. And this curiosity is a concrete sign, in a way, that, because they're writing this out, manifestation, that will just help you to release and surrender to the moment of opportunity that is manifesting for you. The other way, you just exhausting yourself, they're saying. I wonder, but if, and should I, but then what about, stop doing that. Trust your curiosity. Trust it. Remember, when you were a kid, you were always curious and you were exploring. And yeah, sometimes we got ourselves into little messes, but that's okay. We're still here. Everybody's still here. I mean, well, okay, you want me to be realistic. So yeah, some horrible things happen to people. Some things are fatal. But at least we were doing, it's better to be doing what you love than in that situation, than to have been gotten into that situation and you were like sitting there like, pulling your hair out, not knowing what to do, which means that you don't know what you deserve and that you take issue with yourself for desiring and wanting and needing. You take issue with yourself. That's like really something else, isn't it? I mean, to be the resistance, to be the key element of your own resistance, your own sense of being stuck and feeling inadequate. Somebody may have said it to you at some point. I mean, many people have said things to me that were not nice over my entire life. And I've believed some of them, but I haven't given up. I haven't given up. And the writing love. And that part of you that doesn't want to give up is love. That's the support. That's the helping hand. That's the door opener. That's the I don't know why they're writing green, but it's the green pastures, leads you to that prosperity and success. So love doesn't give up on us, and love doesn't let us give up on ourselves or our dreams and our hopes. But love is in that moment is trying to, they're showing me eagle, and I just seen this before I started talking, but it's given us that higher perspective. That's what the eagle soars so high, and it's really, so that idea that we get that sense of being really connected to the spirit realm, really right in the thrust, the center of spiritual insight and wisdom and perspective. And that's what love comes in to do. And we just got to let it. They're writing surrogate. It's like a surrogate to our path towards healing, to restoration of our spirit and our belief in ourselves and in the world and in God. Okay, so let's take a look at the first card for the week. And with Archangel Haniel, we're really looking at, I was feeling a lot of sensitivity and emotions, just a lot of really, in the heart chakra, I was feeling a lot of mixed emotions, a lot of pain and hurt, a lot of wounds. And, and it's interesting that this is coming up in this energy of manifestation, because the thing that hurts us the most is, and deep down, is not what others have done to us, is that we've allowed what they've said to hurt us. And in essence, that's a betrayal to the truth of who we really are. And that energy of betrayal, that broken heart, like the Three of Swords. I know it doesn't represent betrayal, but to me, it represents letting words, letting hurt, communications that wound. And only you and I have the power to surrender to those kinds of actions. Nobody has the power to penetrate the firewall of love that not only surrounds us, but it is the essence of our spiritual being. It is impenetrable because it is an extension, not a separation, but an extension, like the wave in the ocean. They are not different. The substance is the same. Just the appearance, and our appearance in these physical beings, bodies, it looks as though we are separated, but we're not. And so we have the firewall, the indomitable, invincible firewall of love, the essence of God. And that's why he gave us free will, because it is our permission that allows things to occur. All right, so let's take a look and see how we're starting off at the beginning of the week. And what I'm really hearing here is staying true to your course, being practical, not getting caught up in the drama. You're not gonna let yourself get sort of anxious and feel like, oh, I gotta move really quick. No, you're gonna slow down. You're gonna dig your heels in. You're gonna buckle down. You're gonna really stick to your process. This is the way that this night reminds us to go about our missions. He tries to help us with grounding that energy, that creativity, that generosity of spirit, by grounding it into practical applications. So this is going to be a time, although, your emotions are going to be flying high because you're, something is, it's like I feel like it's a bomb dropping in your life, but a good one, opportunities. But to our ego psyche, it's like, oh, you're destroying change. Oh God. So the thing is to stick to what you're good at. Don't try to be something that you're not. Let's say if it was an interview, don't try to be something that you're not. Stick to what you are good at. Play to your assets and your strengths. Keep sticking to the process that where you feel grounded, where you feel really secure, and where you have a lot of knowledge and conviction and power. Don't let someone drag you out of that center. And so, as things are changing, as the opportunities are unfolding, I get a sense like, okay, so, all of a sudden it feels like we got all this extra time, which you don't, or you feel like you don't have enough time. And the thing is like, if you're working on a project, okay, go back to that project and or hobby, and just follow the cycle, go through the routines, like what this is the first step, go through the method, okay? Retrace your steps until you feel like you are progressing again. If you feel like you've lost a sense of what you're trying to do, or you're like having a block of some sort, or you're really stumped by something that suddenly happened, something happened out of the blue. It could be that all of a sudden like a financial responsibility just like plopped in your lap. It's funny. I just give you this example but this is the kind of things that happen. But like last night, my NutriBullet, which I depend on for at least 2 meals out of the day, just stopped working, and I can't remember if I got the insurance on it or not. Probably didn't. And in this moment, I was thinking to myself, here's this $50 expense or $60 expense that now I have to consider. And then I started thinking about, this expense. And then I started thinking about, well, what if I do have the insurance and I go ahead and buy this? And all of these what ifs. And the one thing wasn't focusing on is, number one, this is something I know I need. Like there's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. And in this moment, I'm just feeling that power as I'm seeing witches, and that means for me, that's a symbolic meaning for when someone is truly in their spiritual power. And as I just had that thought and was saying this to you, I felt my spiritual power restored. Because all of those what ifs and how am I gonna, and what I was worried about, spending the money. And then I realized, okay, I do have it. Do I want to spend it was another thing. But if I really need this, then that's the end of the discussion. And in that moment, it's like you feel a sense of power being restored. Because when you're doing the things that resonate with you, that you're convicted about, all that other stuff, it was like the haunted house, it's like the nightmares, just like the 9 of Swords, just creating all this extra anxiety and foolishness in your mind, which that stuff reverberates in your physical being. You feel the pressure in your body. It's like pressure builds up, and the adrenaline starts to, really sort of goes high, and your nervous system is so. But all of that is because of the mind. And when the mind cannot look at things from the right perspective, and that right perspective is something that deep down inside is the best choice for you. But you are having an argument and questioning your judgment. And this constant way of interacting with yourself is what is creating a stream of resistance in our lives, so that everything seems like a chore to do, to think about, to hope for, you know what I mean? So this is important. And okay, so for the middle of the card, and I just wanted, it feels like to say something about the cycle thing again. And this may be something where you need to notice this kind of cycle. Do you cycle like this experience I just had? Do you get stuck in a cycle like this? And then this general cycle I'm describing of putting up resistance in your own way, when it's the time when all your instincts tell you to act and how to act on in your best interests, and then you put up a wall of resistance? Is this a cycle that you are ready to put aside? Okay? And look at this, the dreamer card or the fool. And this is about now, right after all of this. So this is really honing in on what we're talking about. Beginning about following your dreams, following your heart, taking the risk for the things that matter to you. And you know what matters to you. We just have to now be ready to own the things that we know that matters to us and not allow the questions. They can start, and that's what our mind, the ego does, starts right away with the questions. But we don't have to allow them. When we're convicted, it's not necessary to allow the questions. When you can feel that your conviction has integrity with your soul, why the questions? They're completely unnecessary. And as the angels are right in front of me, it's a sabotage. A sabotage to your spirit. A sabotage to your goals. A sabotage to your success. The affluence. Sabotage. So when you're convicted, and that conviction has integrity with your soul, don't think for another minute about it, but engage the dream. And this is what this card is saying to us. Pay attention to the cycles. Pay attention, because they're going to be good cycles and bad cycles coming up and colliding with one another. And we get caught up in this state of confusion. All right, and so we have another major arcana card. And so when the major arcana cards come up, this is like, okay, here is the highlight of what's going on in your life in a big way. This is the big picture that's just really unfolding like a snowball through every area of your life. This is what we need to link up to. It's helping us to link up to something really powerful, really spiritual, and really strong, so that we can sort of dissolve the resistance that we've built up against us. Okay? And so the card Unity, or the Hierophant, is taking a look at, or balancing, the old with the new in terms of traditions and institutions and beliefs, the dogma, and really, I almost feel like, and this may not be what most people would say, but I feel like it's like a time of spiritual evaluation that the Hierophant proposes to us, to take the look at the practical applications in our lives, the things that it's the Hierophant takes a look at the life, the soul, or the manifestations of the soul, or the things that on the outside of us interact with our soul purpose. And sometimes do they interfere, or are they harmonious or in alignment with it? Where there's the High Priestess is all about within. Where is what, looking within the perspective. What is the perspective of my soul? What is it that my soul desires? What is it trying to reflect into the world from inside out? But the Hierophant, the High Priest, is saying, how do I make this all work together, unify? How do I unify all this diversity against my spirit, my soul, my desires, my wants? How can I get this to help me understand who I am deep down on the outside? How can I do that without losing myself? you know? And the areas where you may lose yourself may be in your social groups, you know, where you want to fit in, you want to be liked, you want that approval. And we have all these things that segregate us from our inner sacred, that separate us from our inner oracle, as we brought that word up about the high priestess last week. And so I'm seeing the word healing. And right now there's a huge healing, as this is what this political time is really doing to us. We see now how fragmented we are. And now we're asking ourselves as a country and as a world, does these things align with the integrity of our spiritual goals and values as a country and as a world and as an individual? And this is the bigger question that is unfolding in this aspect of the Hierophant, which is moving not only through your life, but through countries, governments, and the world. This is and this is creating the big explosion. This is creating what I saw in the beginning. I saw a dinosaur giving birth, and I was like, what's with the dinosaur? Because I do see them from time to time. And what I gathered is that we're a primal instinct, or a primal way of being is now giving birth again. It's almost like, and I know this is a terrible analogy to put in this beautiful moment, but it's like, you know, a virus or something that was extinct or something, but yet is laying dormant somewhere, and then it's unleashed, and now it's spreading again. And this is the virus of love, the virus of acting in harmony with that love, the virus of no division is unleashing. And this is now letting us see where we've been excessive, obsessive, addictive, irresponsible to one another, etc., etc. And so we're going through actually a really huge shift, a cycle where we are now going to be really sort of looking at our dreams in respect to the bigger picture, in respect to what are my dreams creating? What are they exposing others to? How are these my desires affecting others? And how does all of that align with who I truly am spiritually, and with that integrity? And so we may find ourselves going back to the basics of love, reinstituting the process, the gesture of love, the kindness, the compassion, the desire to want to build a better world, to take care of our world and each other, and to make sure that no one is left behind in any aspect of all the great things that life affords us. So what you and I are going to have to pay attention to is the models that we've been supporting, that some of those models or some aspects of those models are crumbling, and they need revision, and they need new awareness. And from that new awareness, new solutions to desegregate the divisiveness and bring unity and wholeness And this is going to be happening on all these different levels, from the individual to the world. And as you think about yourself as an individual, you think about how you're affecting others on a global or community level, or just to your neighbor, okay? But this is going to create a profound way, a discovery of how to exist. Because the old paradigm is not existing. It's surviving. And if it continues, it could create our spiritual extinction. This is not possible. But where we become more and more people, as we're seeing, a lot of people are becoming more and more depressed. A lot of, things that are happening. I don't like to mention words, but you get where I'm going with this. And so we have it within ourselves. The love can heal and restore and uplift. All right, so let's take a look at the card I pulled from the bottom of the deck. Now, this is interesting because it's such in contrast to everything else, right? But it speaks to what I was really talking about, is that resistance. And so what are we all resistant to? Why don't we want to change? Not just on the world scale, the political scale. Why don't we want to change in ourselves? What are we afraid of? Why are we, what are we holding on to that we're putting too much emphasis on over our own personal freedom, our own relief? What is this thing, as they're writing out, that's being so persistent? For some of you, I'm saying the word couple, it may be a relationship. It may be a job. It may be just some debt. But why are we afraid to confront these things head on with our power, with the compass of our spiritual integrity? Why are we afraid to confront these things? And the reason that you can't even recognize that you're afraid to confront them is because your ego has locked you into a cycle of the endless what ifs. Because it's masking or attempting to mask your conviction, your I'm fed upness, this is what I want. This is what I'm deserving. It's trying to mask that up. They're writing the word diversion. It's diverting you, making you look at other things. You find other problems that you didn't notice. You attract other bills that you weren't expecting to pay, or other events that create more drama and trauma, and doesn't allow you to come to focus, to center. They're writing the word segregate, but it's like these things segregate us, separate us from who we are. Going back to that Hierophant. Don't lose your unity over material things or relationships that have no longer have use in your life. They don't serve the greater good. Anything that does not serve the greater good is creating a sense of disharmony within the alignment of your soul and its knowing. This is a disinterruption of your integrity. And we've been living this way. We've been living with this spiritual disease. And now we can get rid of it because we recognize that this one thing that's going on and this other thing that's interfering with it. We recognize this knowing, this conviction, this passion, this purpose, this hope, versus this other conversation. And now that we know what the conversation sounds like, we know the cycle it's spinning, we can recognize it now, we can identify it, and we can begin to eliminate that conversation piece by piece by piece, by not spending all our time trying to eliminate it, but by taking that leap of faith, trusting your dreams, trusting your hopes, not being caught up about the outcome, but being open to the opportunity that that outcome, that guidance may be placing you in, so that where it's placing you may not be what you expected, but it's putting you in a place of least resistance or path of relief, so that you feel better in order to attract a better perspective, attract better opportunities, attract the visual recognition of other options. Woo, gotta stop. Sorry. But because the messages is just going on, but we really do have to stop. So this is thrilling and exciting, and I send you lots of love. I want you to know that out of all of that has been said, it is love that greets you. It is love that is coming to your heart. It is love that is surrounding you right now in the forms of many wings. And opportunities. This love is surrounding you, and you are ready. You are ready for what will come. The challenges will seem reasonable. That would be sort of the shift. And you will just keep taking steps, even though the resistance will still form within you. You'll still keep taking steps. All right. So if you're looking for an angel reading, feel free to contact me at theangelschool.com, which you can find in the link below this video, as well as join us for the daily card messages on Facebook. And I think you can also get us through Twitter. So have a beautiful week. This is a powerful time. We're in the time of the Leo, and so there's this confidence and really feeling successful and having a powerful ambition, feeling ambitious and motivated. So let's ride this cycle of new energy that's also coming for us spiritually. That is, we're talking long-term goals here, not just momentary, like the minor arcana refer to. All right. Love you all, and God bless you. Thank you for staying with me this long.